Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test Champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. It's been a hell of a week news-wise in the rugby league world at least.
There's been plenty of things going on actually in the last 6 or 7 days or so. Plenty of stories popping up. I think the funniest thing that I've seen in the last week is got to be Kenty's
little ruckus on the streets of Sydney.
Got himself into a little bit of trouble on camera there, and into a little bit of a tussle. Quite funny to see old Kenty getting himself into a little bit of mischief. But it's not just been negative NRL news over the last little wee while. Couple of sad things. Sad to see Dale Finucane officially medically retired. Not going to see any more of that. What is the word I'm looking for there? That run out though, you know.
The intense run out.
We're not going to see that again. An integral part of a pre-game Sharks routine there. Seeing Finucane run out like that. So sad to see. He's obviously been around for a wee while, copped a few head knocks.
Copped a fair few head knocks along the way, which is, I guess, why he's been forced to retire. You probably, I think he said it himself, you probably would have had to medically retire the bastard. He's that tough, that much of a warrior.
Yeah, you're not going to get him retiring himself, I don't think, somehow. Luke Keary as well, hanging up the boots at the end of this season.
Another bloke who's had a lot of concussions. Apparently, it's not to do with that. It's just to do with his motivation. It's hard to be a bloke that's that small to hang with the
Still
big blokes in the NRL, which is
bigger, aren't they?
Fair enough, I suppose. The body probably turns up pretty sore on a Monday morning, Sunday morning, depending on whenever the Roosters play.
I'd imagine so.
As the years go by, I mean, 32. He's not old in NRL terms, but he's certainly not young either.
Yeah, definitely. He'd be up there in the higher percentile, I would imagine. He'd be one of your older players, like you said, not one of the oldest, but I feel like when you're getting north of 32 sort of thing there in the NRL, you're starting to get on a bit. Doesn't feel like he's been around for
just clocked up his 200th game not long ago, was it?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So that's a pretty decent knock.
Fair whack, yeah. It doesn't feel like he's been around for that long though. I thought he was a little bit younger, finding out he was 32. I was a little bit shocked, I've got to say. But yeah, we'll be seeing both. Well, obviously, Finucane, immediate retiree. Whereas obviously Keary
announcing for the end of
this year.
End of the year, we'll be
sign off
hanging up the boots.
Sure.
There's a few leaving from the Roosters now. Then makes it quite the list.
I did see a little thing today saying watch out for the Roosters for next year. Quite a bit of salary cap opening up with players leaving.
100%.
Players unsigned for 2025. So I'd say there'll be
time to strap the boots on and dust them off and see if you can get a little contract with the Roosters.
Exactly.
They'll have plenty of cash to splash.
A couple of signings over the last week as well. We managed to steal Taruva. Looked like you boys were going to be getting them there.
Yeah, lots of talk about Taruva off to the Dragons, and then all of a sudden you see he's gone and signed a 3-year deal.
3-year deal with 1.5 mil, I believe.
Hard to see him slotting in at fullback, as was potentially going to be the case at the Dragons with Buller around. Buller seems to have locked down his spot a bit more than Sloaney has.
Definitely a replacement for Tupou, I think. Getting Taruva in there, he's a try scorer. He knows how to finish. So
could potentially play centre, but I
I think
He's
losing
proven on the wing.
losing
that's for
Tupou,
sure.
he takes that wing spot nice and easy. Then the old Waz managing to snag the third Cleary.
The third Cleary, Jet. Unsure how this one's going to turn out, but plenty of hype around the surname. Plenty of hype around his performances coming through the grades. Obviously, to have Nathan as your big bro and
Ivan
as your old man, you've probably had a decent education coming through the grades. You've probably got the genetics for it.
Yep.
So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see him running out for the Warriors come next year, unless they can lock down Sean Johnson again.
Well,
But even then, I'm sure he may get a bit of time off the bench here and there.
you never know. You might see Cleary and Johnson as a little
Cleary,
combination
you
there.
reckon? Metcalf hasn't locked down his spot. Depends how he bounces back from that broken leg, I suppose.
All depends on how good Cleary is as well. If he comes in here,
If he comes in, yeah,
next thing.
He could take Metcalf's spot.
Oh,
Who knows?
100%.
Bit of a loose thing to say without having actually seen him play. He obviously hasn't played a first grade game yet, but yeah.
But
Big one for the Waz, plenty of hype.
yeah, it's a huge signing, I guess, if you look at it like that. There was some footy on as well over the weekend. There was a few games. We did have a tasty looking team of the week here for you this week. And we start off at the back. AJ Brimson, an integral part of that first win there for the Titans on Thursday.
Yeah, it was sort of there in the background as I got to dinner. So I was watching over the shoulder, but got to see the highlights later, and front and centre, AJ Brimson had a hell of a game. So surely the Titans can keep him at fullback. It's got to be his best position. It's got to be best for the team.
100%.
Jaden Campbell comes in maybe as a 6.
He had a screamer of a game there, Brimson, and good to be in a packed golf club bar there with all these Warriors fans and celebrating the Titans winning. I quite enjoyed that. Joined there in the back three, your two wingers this week, Couture and Couture. A couple of tries there between the both of those over the weekend there.
Yeah, To'o celebrating his 100th game in style, crossing over in the first 5 minutes and getting up to his usual antics. And Couture for the Sharkies, had himself a hell of a game in their romping of Canberra. Garrick joins Couture's teammate Jesse Ramian in the centres. Two blokes who had great games. I think Garrick, another 16 points, 18 points or
something of the sorts. It was a weird game, that one, and he
not quite
a few.
much.
I think it was 3 Sinmans in the end there in that game.
12.
So made it a little bit interesting, but yeah, Garrick was on form as always. Great player there. That's your back 5, pretty tasty looking. Joined there, your halves pairing. We've gone from Cam Munster and Cody Walker. No, not Cody Walker, Sam Walker, sorry. And I actually feel like the old Sam Walker one, big shout, Nico Hines good on there. I was very undecided on which way I wanted to go, but when you're a half of a team that brings up 60 points, hard not to be involved there.
24 points scored from Sammy Walker himself was probably involved with either the try assist or the pass that led to the try assist, and the other 36 points that the Roosters scored. Had himself a hell of a game. Anzac Day medal, so well done to him. Absolutely romped our lads there, and Cam Munster pretty much giving South Sydney the same treatment without the goal kicking. He was on fire there for
on form for Melbourne there.
Melbourne. He loves a big occasion, Cam Munster. He's not going to let you down in a state of origin, a finals game,
No, not
Anzac
at all.
Day game.
No.
He's the man. He's a man for the big moment.
Yeah.
Cam Munster.
Loves a moment there, Cameron Munster. So that's your back line. Joining them, your forward pack. We've gone for Jalen Jolliffe and Hazelton from the Sharkies there. Now Jolliffe, awesome game I feel for the Titans. Probably I'd say their best forward from what I saw in that game. And then Hazelton, who came on, I want to say, it might have been 2 or 3 weeks ago for Toby Rudolph in a game there where he'd been injured and came on and just absolutely bossed it off the bench. And saw similar in this one here.
Yeah, he's a beast of a player, old Hazelton. Has a knack for getting a bit of a meaty every now and then, which is good on him. Yeah, into the back row. Angus Crichton, another Rooster, had himself a hell of a game, was terrorising the Dragons out there. And Dave Fafita had himself a good game over here. On these shores, got himself a try and was heavily involved, which is always, I guess, the knock on Dave Fafita is that he's got the talent, but he probably doesn't get his hands on the ball enough. But had his hands on the ball plenty in that one and helped the Titans to their first win of the season.
Yeah, completely bossed Warriors. They seem to be falling apart a wee bit there, the Wars. Paddy Garrigan takes your locking position there. Pretty solid from him as always in that route that it turned out to be up against my Tigers, and we forgot to chuck your hooker in there as well. Harry Grant,
We forgot,
slung there in the middle. Had a very good outing there against the Bunnies Saturday night there.
The whole Melbourne spine was pretty insane, really. But Harry Grant as well, definitely showing why he's one of the top few hookers in our game, that's for sure.
Yep, no doubt about it. So that's your team of the week this week. Pretty tasty looking team, I must say. No double barrels. First
You got To'o, which is an apostrophe, but you can't really.
It's not a double barrel.
Can't really claim it as a double barrel, so an anomaly, I suppose.
Yeah, not often we miss out the double barrel there. So you ain't gonna go out there and win a comp with this team, but I'm sure we can get pretty bloody close. Now another full week, 8 games of footy, starting off Thursday night. Bunnies up against the Panthers. The Panthers. Now, Bunnies in a very bad state at the moment. Not a very good time to be coming up against Melbourne, I don't think. Penrith, sorry.
Penrith, yeah.
You've just lost to Melbourne. Big game, big result, that one there. They got pumped. And now you're coming up against possibly the other favourite in the comp in terms of Penrith. It's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, I even think Penrith is a step above Melbourne, really. You've got Penrith and Brisbane, then you maybe got Melbourne and the Roosters on their day, and then the rest, really. And South's below everyone else with the Titans at the bottom. Yeah, they're playing some shocking footy at the moment, conceding 54 points at the hands of Melbourne to take them to, I believe, already 250 points conceded for the season, 8 rounds in. So it's pretty fucked when you think about it. But look, up against Penrith, who possibly could have played better, but also we might have seen the Cowboys really turn up for that one, I think. Was more of the case in their narrow win last week. I somehow think this one's going to be less narrow for them. It's hard to see anything positive really in this one for South. It's a tough one, especially if your coach has got his job on the line. Another big drubbing at the hands of Penrith might just make that media noise a little bit too loud.
Yep, I'd say that'll be up in a little bit. Penrith do go out there and put 40, 50 points on them, I don't see it being a very positive outcome for the Bunnies there on Thursday night. It's going to be a tough one for them. Now this week, I need to do something. I need to change something up. I'm not winning any bets. I don't think I've won a bet in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I thought, rather than chucking a bet on each in each game, I'm going to go for something that got me through last year at one stage, and that's a try scorer in every game. So I've picked
Give us the try scorer in each game and save the odds till the end, I reckon.
That's what I'm going to do, mate.
Yeah,
I know I'm doing this. Now, a try scorer for every game. Last time I pulled out one of these, I got through 7. I can't remember who my 8th was. I believe it was a Titans player.
It was like a back rower or something.
It was a back rower, and they didn't
end up scoring.
And I cashed out after 7, which was such a good play. I think I won $400, something along the lines.
Off a $2 bet.
Off a $2 bet. Now, I'm chucking 5 units on this one.
$5.
$5. So that's $5 off my total. I'm saving. I could be saving $3 this week. Really. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's $3 less that I'm losing. So first game, Penrith possibly go out there. Let's say not possibly, probably go out there and dick them. Dylan Edwards at $2.15.
Yep.
So he's my first try scorer.
Yep. Nice one to get off the mark. I've gone not similar, but I've just gone for an anytime try scorer on this one, seeing as Penrith aren't offering too much value and Souths aren't offering too much hope. Mitch Kenny, he's going to borrow over from dummy half there. $7.25 anytime try scorer.
Yep, I like it. Could have been a good one to actually start off in this one here, to be fair, just to beef it up a little bit. That's your Thursday night game. You get into your double header for a Friday as normal. Manly up against Canberra. That's your first game there now. Obviously, Manly involved in that, I guess, dirty game, you could say. 3 sin binnings. What looked like it was going to be a loss there pretty early doors, and a bit of a comeback, bit of a bounce back from Manly up against this Canberra team who I backed last week. I picked them to get a win, and they're held to 0. A clean sheet for the Sharkies there. Not good for Sticky and the Raiders.
Yeah, things have not gone too well the last couple of weeks, really. 40-0 and 30-something to 10 up against.
Can't remember what it was last week.
But obviously up against the top of the table Sharkies. It was always going to be a tough one, but Ricky won't be too pleased with what he's seen. The other side of the coin, Manly, dirty game. But getting up in the end, a good second half from the Sea Eagles, from Cherry Evans and the rest of those Manly boys. So they probably come into this one with a lot of confidence. Without Ola Kawatu, obviously, this week, but I'm not too sure if DCE escaped his ban or not.
No, I was looking at that earlier. On right now.
It's begun.
Possible 3-match ban, okay. Ola Kawatu's a big loss though. I'm just looking at that sort of a little bit in terms of the old fantasy. Not that I'm really in a position to be doing much this year. Started off with a bit of a shocker, but big loss for Manly, Ola Kawatu. Now obviously one of the 3 to get Simbined there Friday night. The one Manly player, whereas I think it was Penasini that got Simbined, and then as soon as he came back, Sevo then went off. And that was the last 20 minutes of the game that they had to play with 12 men. So Obviously, Parago did Manly a little bit of a favour there in that one. I don't think they're going to have such a tough task this game here up against Canberra. I think it should be a little bit more smooth sailing for them. Obviously, yeah, there's problems going on at Canberra at the moment. There's things that they need to sort out. Never good when you're held to nil. Obviously, Sharky's playing some good footy at the moment, but regardless of that, you get held to nil. So that's not a good position to be in. And he's gone out and dropped Chevy Stewart this week, which I think is just outrageous. Albert Hopewade is back, and Stewart just straight out of there. I like to look at him. I thought he was one of their small shining lights of the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's tough, but a young bloke. I suppose he's had his taste. A couple of big losses, so Ricky probably was thinking he had to shake a few things up regardless. Manly at home in this one. Hard to go past them, but it's the sort of game that Ricky does come and pull off an ambush, but I'm definitely not picking that. I've gone for Manly 13 plus into Tom Trbojevic. It's only paying $3.35, but I'm thinking based on recent form it should come off.
Yep, no, I like it. It's a pretty safe looking one there. Second try scorer for me that I've added into the equation.
Yep.
Jason Saab to cross the try line.
Jason Saab.
No, he's paying $1.85. Now, if you can do it as you're going along, you can do the maths. See if you can figure out the total before we tell you. But Jason Saab, second of my 8 try scorers, $1.85. That's your first game for your Friday. Your 8 o'clock kickoff here in New Zealand. Your second game of the evening, a tasty looking matchup. This one here, the Broncos up against the Roosters. Two teams coming off pretty big wins, obviously one bigger than the other, but should be an awesome matchup this one here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely based on form, it's got to be match of the round. Brisbane, couple of big wins the last 2 weeks, racking up 30 plus points. Not conceding too many either, and then the Roosters just absolutely blowing the Dragons off the park, 60-18. Sam Walker was absolutely incredible.
See, I missed this game. What was this? This was Thursday night.
Anzac
Day.
6:30 maybe?
Yeah, it was the second game. I went post golf, watched the Titans Warriors game, and then I think I had my swim and a bit of a feed and sort of missed a bit of this game. And then by the time I checked the score and then saw it and knew that you were out for tea, not able to watch it live, and I was sort of thinking, Matt, this is one of those games where I feel like I just need to break it to you, tell you the score. Don't bother going home and watching it. Get yourselves a couple extra hours sleep, really. 60 points. It's not ideal, is it?
It's not great for the Dragons, but it's great news for the Roosters, who I guess, going up to Brisbane to try and pull off a bit of a shock result. Will it be much of a shock, really? If we see the best of the Roosters, they can definitely pull it off. This was the game, obviously over in Vegas. A bit of a rematch here for the Broncos and the Roosters, obviously, as well. But a chance for revenge.
Yep, a little bit of redemption.
For the Broncos, a chance to double down for the Chooks and stake their premiership claims. The list of players, as you mentioned earlier, of players leaving. You got Warrior Hargraves, Manu, Suwali, Crichton could be leaving.
Crichton unsigned, same as
Kerry's now leaving. Tupou, yeah.
There was one other player as well that I saw there on that list. But yeah, it's I guess it's an opportunity for Brisbane to get a little bit of revenge on that opening round defeat. Like you said, is it that big of an upset if we see the Roosters win? Probably not. You said before, Roosters and Storm, probably the two teams sitting there below Penrith and
Brisbane.
Sorry, absolute mind blank there.
Melbourne and Roosters.
Yeah.
Next.
So it's probably not that big of an upset, really, when you look at it. You probably are backing Brisbane when they're at home at Suncorp. We know what it's like when they're playing there. So, possibly not too big of an upset. I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I can see it happening, and that's why I've gone for it. Roosters 1-12. Juice it up a little bit with Dom Young there. $7.57 that one's going to get you. So, not too bad there. Going with the bookies, underdogs, Roosters. Quite a lot of value on them actually this week. So, not a bad bet.
Yep, I like that one.
Going for the Roosters.
Third try scorer involved in the 8-man bet. We've gone for one of the men of the moment, Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Playing some awesome footy. Going to try to cross the try line to roll me into Saturday. 3 out of 3 ideally. He's coming in at $2.15. So nothing too outrageous just yet out of these 3. All pretty high up in terms of favourites. That's your Friday night footy. You get yourself into your weekend. You start off 5 p.m. The Doggies up against the Tigers. A fresh-faced Doggies team coming in. 3-2 points. Move themselves into the 8th. Top first time they've been into the top 8 after this many rounds in quite a few years. I don't know exactly how many years, but a few, that's for sure.
5+?
Jesus. Possibly more.
Yeah, it's been a while, that's for sure. But the Doggies certainly seem to have turned a corner. Finally gotten those last couple of recruits through the door that managed to turn things around and get the best out of some of the other players that are there. Still obviously not the finished product just yet. But coming off the bye, 3-2 points, they'll be stoked with that. Up against the Tigers side who copped their 3rd or 4th in a row.
3rd, I think.
3rd.
Slightly unlucky, I feel. I think they stole a try off Uppy there.
Absolutely ripped
at
off.
12-0, I think it was. And I mean, there's the commentator said he let go of the ball for about a 25th of a second, it works out to be, with the slow-mo cam going. It's come off the fingertips, but it's possibly still, by the looks of it, holding it, being touched by the palm, and it's like he's just giving his fingers a quick little stretch, you know what I mean, as he's diving. That becomes 12-6. I think it's a different game. But yeah, felt quite hard done by, I have to say. Sitting there watching that, especially when the score started to blow out a little bit, and I was thinking, what could have been. But yeah, I think it is 3 on the trot. But it's usually you're up against the Doggies and you're kind of a little bit hopeful you're going to snag a 2 points. It's not really one that I'm overly hopeful for, I have to say.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely putting up more of a fight than the last few years. The Doggies. What's something in my throat, hey?
Got a little frog in your throat. They're definitely a different looking team. I know that I sort of said at the start of the season.
Still
each
doable
year's
for
the
the Tigers,
same.
though.
They sort of say, this is they've made a few more signings, but it is looking slightly different, I think, this year for the Dogs. You'd have to be a lot more positive if you're a Doggies fan, but you're right. Definitely still doable. There was good signs last week. Not good to see Uppy. A little bit of a back injury that he's got himself involved with, I guess, from carrying the team, piggybacking them out of that spoon position. I mean, I'm always going to be slightly confident going into a Tigers game, and that's just the bias in me. But it's not one that I'm kind of jumping up and down for, I would say, like you usually would be if you're up against the Dogs.
Yeah, and a couple of these years gone by, it's almost a free 2 points coming up against the Dogs. But also in saying that, the Tigers over the last couple of years have definitely not been any guarantees for a win at any stage, I don't think. So it makes for an interesting contest. Two teams that hope to have turned a corner, to be moving on to better things than the last couple of years. So a big one for both sides, this one.
Yep, 100%. I'll obviously be gunning for a Tigers win, but I've actually picked a Doggies player as my try scorer this week. Addo Carr. He's been scoring a few tries recently.
Pretty much automatic, yeah.
Up against his old team, one of the ones that got away, and he comes in at $1.75. So I think he's my first favourite that I've picked so far. Saab might have been favourite there as well, $1.85. But Addo Carr was definitely the number one to pick, I reckon, to cross the try line there. So he's number 4.
Good on him. Good on him, and good on you. I've gone Tigers 1-12 into Coruscant to show my support for the Tigers.
Love it. Love it.
$12.22.
Very good bet.
Good value
couple
as
of
well.
twos in there as well.
Post it, might get close to 14.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, big fan of that one. I enjoy seeing that. That's your first game of your Saturday. In the middle of your Super Saturday sandwich, you've got the Titans up against the Storm now. Huge shock there on Anzac Day, seeing the Titans come away with the win. Looked like they were going to dominate there for a stage, and the Warriors sort of snuck back a little bit there at the end. I'd actually kind of half changed into just wanting the Warriors to run away with it, because I had my 3 try scorers down with about 25 minutes to go. And if Warriors had won 13 plus, would have come away with quite a bit of money. I think it was about $70, $75 off a little $2 bet. Not quite a bit of money, but more than enough to get you going. Yeah, so a huge shock seeing that there from the Titans. And then Storm, pretty easy running there for them up against the Bunnies in that big one too.
Yeah, both involved in Anzac Day action. Gold Coast, a bit of a shock for the rugby league world. As you said, after the Warriors went out to that 12-0 lead, I think it was 27 straight points from the Titans.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it must have been. And then they brought it back there in the second half. Well, near the end of the second half, the Warriors. But yeah, it was a big shock seeing that first win of the season for the Titans.
Yeah, 100%. AJ Brimson was back to his best for Feder as well, but yeah, probably also a good time to face the Warriors at the moment. Things just aren't really clicking.
They're struggling. They're struggling, and it's good to see.
Definitely not clicking as well as they were last year. And then Melbourne, the opposite of that. Well, not that things didn't really click for them last year, but the spine there, all 4 of them are back out on the field playing some awesome footy and piling up 54 points while they were at it. So it's ominous signs for a Gold Coast side that has really struggled this year, only just picking up their first win. So it is hard to see them getting another one up against the likes of the Melbourne Storm when they come to town.
Yeah, it was an attacking masterclass.
Storm have a great record up in Queensland as well, I'm pretty sure.
It was an attacking masterclass, I thought, this one here from Melbourne. They really piled on the points, and you're right, this Titans team who have obviously clearly struggled to defend, losing their opening, 7 games? So
6 games.
6 games, they had the bye as well. So yeah, it is an ominous signs for the Titans. They're going to have to be on the A game, I think, to have any shot in this one there. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to see Melbourne come away after 2 points there?
Yeah, I think it is pretty safe to say that. I don't think we'll get another shock this week, but you never know. Dizzy might have something planned. It's hard to see anything other than a Melbourne win, but they're also not offering very much value. So I've just gone for the new podcast favourite, the old 3 darts at the dartboard. Pappenhausen, Munster and Grant, 3 of those spine members to score tries for the Storm in this one. $14.87 that's going to get you.
Yep, I'll be happy if that one comes off. I've picked one of those 3. And man in the middle, Cameron Munster, I believe it was $2.95. Yep, $2.95 he's paying. So he's number 5. Hopefully we're still going by that stage. 5 from 5 would be ideal as you get into your last game of your Saturday night. Not often we see the Warriors playing in this time slot here. On a Saturday, I saw a thing the other day, often get obviously that.
Oh no, sorry, first...
Oh, it is too.
We've got Queensland Derby.
It is too. We've got Queensland Derby.
To round out your Saturday night, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't realise that there. I thought we were down there, but you're right. The Cowboys up against the Dolphins, another Queensland Derby. We said it at one stage, they seem to be popping up all over the place, these big ones here. So I'm sure both teams are going to be up for this one. Both teams coming away with losses there on the weekend. Cowboys losing to Penrith, and the Finns, bit of a shock loss to the Knights there.
Yeah, I think North Queensland will probably be the happier of the 2 sides. Obviously never happy with a loss. I'm sure Peyton and the boys won't be, but a narrow loss to Penrith certainly isn't the end of the world in the grand scheme of things. Whereas the Dolphins, after what was an awesome performance without the hammer up against Parrot the week before, came in strong favourites up against the Newcastle side without the likes of Kalen Ponga. They couldn't manage to double down and make it 2 in a row. Pardon me, 3 in a row maybe. Not sure what happened the week before. That might have been when they beat you.
I can't remember.
That might have been a few weeks ago. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock one for the Dolphins. Probably a bit of a reality check, I suppose, at this stage of the season. That maybe without Hammer they might struggle a bit, and you'd like to think North Queensland will be ready to turn a corner for their sake, because they've been conceding a lot of points lately after starting the season strong, but a Queensland derby might be just what they need to pick up a win, get things back on track for them.
Yeah, 100%. Big occasion. They do seem to pop up thick and fast now, these Queensland derbies.
Yeah, when you've got 4 teams involved from Queensland now.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be. That doesn't mean there should be too many, but there does seem to be nearly 1 more weeks than there
They
is.
stacked the draw, I reckon, so that they all play each other twice.
So that's why they're popping up so often. Then, who have I gone? I think it was. I think I'm similar to your bet there. This one here, I'm probably leaning towards a Cowboys win, but I've chucked the Dolphins player in there, I believe. Correct, Mr. Bostock. Coming in at $2.05, season man number 6. Hopefully we're still cruising along by then.
Yeah, I've just parcelled Dolphins to pick up a shock win in this one, 1 to 12. That's going to get you $6.51 with Jack Bostock involved, but scoring a few tries lately, so hopefully if you're sitting 5 from 5,
hopefully we're in luck.
you can cross the line early, and you can go to bed, have an early one, get ready for Sunday. if you want.
Not an advocate of an early night on a Saturday, I must say.
Definitely not.
Saturday's
your night to stay up.
It's my night to watch 3 games
Also,
of the league and then
I
roll
think-
straight into some darts usually.
I'm pretty sure 11:30 we've got Arsenal play Bournemouth this week.
11:30 Saturday night. No, Jesus, it's been a wee while since we've had one of those. Let's have a look. Oh, we do too. Wow. Oh, how good is that? And what's on the old darts calendar for the weekend? Because if we've got darts, then it's a double screen.
It's a triple header
It's a double screen from about 11:30 there.
Okay.
Premier League. Oh, we don't. The development tour is on, but not really what I'm after. It's not like we've got a European tour event here, but that could have been great. But yeah, fingers crossed we go 6 from 6. And
Post Saturday night, you'll be rolling into some Sunday afternoon footy. Newcastle up against the Wasps.
Yeah, the Knights obviously in the other end of that Dolphins result there, taking the win. Whereas the Warriors, handing that first win of the season to the Titans. Wheels starting to fall off, and I have to say I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, first home Anzac Day game in 10 plus, maybe 14 years.
A long time, yeah.
I remember we went to an Anzac test in 2012. That might have been the last time we had Anzac footy, but that might not have been Anzac Day. It might have just been the weekend of.
Might have been. Why do I feel like that might have been the 20th?
The 20th, so it was before Anzac Day.
Let's have a little look here.
We'll post that on Facebook.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. 23rd of April is when you posted that photo. Jesus Christ.
So we got it before Anzac Day, that's for sure.
What a hectic combination of people, eh? Good group of lads
Me,
there.
you, Willie Cummings, Seth, Terry.
Andy
As well.
Andy is there too.
Andy was there.
It's a
great group.
It's a tasty looking six there. There's no doubt about it. God, is that the last time we had Anzac Day footy on these shores? You might be right. 12 years. I think we lost on that night. I believe so. Yeah,
the
Kings
we don't win
lost.
too many of those Anzac Day tests, but the Wires, they continued the tradition. 27-24 loss. Yeah, the wheels definitely seem to be falling off. I don't know what it is with the Warriors, really. Maybe teams have figured them out. And
They attack. As shout out Dennis Coleman, the old greenskeeper down there at Waimata, as he said, they only attack down one side.
down the right.
So it's picked up on straight away there by every other team that's half decent. But also, as I said at the start of the year, there was all this hype around them last year because it was the first year fully back at home and all of this blah and up the wires, and you get a sellout crowd every single week, and you're still getting sellout crowds, but you can't. The novelty is gone now from being like, oh, well, we're playing at home again. It's like, well, we did that last year and look what we were able to do. Are we good enough to do that again this year? Here's your answer. Clearly not.
Not at this stage, that's for sure.
Even being unbiased, I think if you're looking at all the other teams, they're lucky to make the 8 at the end of the season.
I think the way things are going at the moment, definitely.
You see them in about 9th or 10th. That's where I think
they're in and around that battle. I think
definitely in the battle, but I just feel like
I think as we mentioned, you've got Penrith and if we just rattle it off, Penrith and Brisbane,
Melbourne
and Roosters probably the top 4. Sharkies actually probably get in the top 4, and Roosters just due to inconsistency.
Turo stays fit. Manly's in there.
Manly's in there. I mean,
really?
Canberra have started the season okay if they can get back on track. But
I was going to say the Cowboys should really be in there.
The Cowboys should really be in there.
You'd argue the money should be there, but they're not going to make it.
Money should be there, but they're not.
The doggies are in there at the moment.
The doggies, yeah.
There's going to be 4 or 5 teams battling it out for that last spot.
Know, if things go right for either one of our clubs, we could be there or thereabouts end of the season. If Ponga comes back, Newcastle can scrape a few wins before then.
We saw what they did last year on that run, so I think they're lucky to make the 8 this year. I think just a little bit of second season syndrome is what it is. It's a big year last year and hard to follow it up the same way as they went last year. So I think they probably still pick up a win this weekend, you'd think.
Yeah, I think this Newcastle outfit is definitely going to struggle without Ponga. They were struggling with him, so I mean, played well to pick up the win against the Dolphins, but I think the Warriors will be ready for a bounce back after what has been a few shocking weeks. Obviously, Gold Coast would have been a good game for them to bounce back from that loss up against the Dragons, but wasn't to be, so I guess the draw's semi-kind to them. It's not another home game, but they're not going up against a top 4 outfit at this stage at least, so should be a tight one, I reckon.
Yeah, should be close. I would be leaning towards the Warriors, and I've picked a Warrior man number 7. I believe it was Roger that we whipped out there. It was 2. Now he's your highest paying player here. Beefed it up a little bit right at the end there, coming in at $3.25. It's he the first centre he is. We've gone fullback, winger, half, winger, centre, and then another winger at the end there. But Roger, number 7 of my 8-man bet there.
Roger, big up to him if he does score. It'll be an exciting time and a big call whether or not to cash out. I think you probably have to ride it out.
If he comes off,
depending who it is in the next game,
I think I'm riding it out.
I've gone Wires 1 to 12 into chance myself. $8.12. That's going to get you.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Obviously playing some good footy at the moment there, chance. So if he can cross over the try line, $8 or so, not too bad. Nice little pick me up before you're going to go out there and face the Sharkies in the last game of the round.
Yeah.
You've just shipped 60 and you're coming up against a team that's just got a clean sheet.
And scored 40.
So
it's pretty much a 82-point differential in terms of form that you're coming in here. The Dragons minus 42. The Sharkies plus 40. The only thing really in our favour is that it is a derby. Usually is a close game in a derby, but the last few years Cronulla have certainly had the wood on us. Ever since Nico Hines has been in town, so it's a worrying one for a Dragons fan, particularly conceding 60 points last week. I think Nico Hines will have a field day if the Dragons go out with anything like that on the line. So yeah, it's hard. It's a tough one. It's a tough one on offer. You speak about generous opportunities for bounce back for the Wires there. Definitely not a generous one for the Dragons here.
Opposite end of the spectrum for your lads. Going to be a very tough one, this one. Big game defensively is obviously going to be needed. You've just had a huge points total put on you, and you're not going to be wanting to go out there and do a similar thing again. So, going to need to be a huge
the commentator
defensive
said
shift.
it during the game. When we do lose this season, we lose bad, but I think every one of our losses has been like 13 plus
Yeah, which is not a
That's not like 20 plus.
not a good position to be in. So you'll be hoping they can turn around their form a little bit come Sunday. But as it's going to be very, very tough for the Dragons. Sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, and so the odds say so as well. Dragons 13 plus this week is offering me a juicy $12.50. It's hard to see it coming off unless Nico Hines perhaps does a Tommy Turbo.
I mean, if they go out there
this season.
Well, they go out there and play like they did against the Tigers, and who knows, you might be in for a treat. Nico Hines kicking balls out on the full and things like that.
Makes 4 errors like Tommy.
I won't be too disappointed as long as Mulatalo
Thought so.
crosses the try line. Now he's sitting there. He's your biggest favourite out of a lot of them. $1.57. I'm just going to run you through them again. We've got Dylan Edwards at $2.15. Jason Saab at $1.85, Reece Walsh at $2.15, Josh Adokar at $1.75, Munster at $2.95, Bostock there at $2.05, Roger at $3.25 just to beef it up a little bit, and then we finish off with Ronaldo at $1.57. I've chucked 5 on it. I can't remember exactly what it was pre-boost, and I screenshot it. I think I might have. Pre-boost, we're coming in there at $461.79 it's paying, but I've boosted it and obviously I've chucked 5 on it, so I guess we can work that out, for the old odds there, but potential return of $2,493.25.
So season over if you get that one.
Season over. Yeah, pretty much. It'll be what, a 2,000. It'll be pretty close to it. I think if I can pull this one out the bag. Not really worried about season.
I don't know if I'm making back $2.5 grand.
You'd have to be starting to pull off some huge bets to try and to get it back. It could make it a lot more interesting. I'd be loving it if that came off. It would be bloody perfect way to.
You were talking about a new set of golf clubs.
I was talking about a new set of golf clubs. So something like $2.5K would
something
be
like that, or a little trip overseas, a little trip to Magic Round.
Yeah, exactly. I could go out and put $2.5K on Arsenal in the league, on black, or some high stakes pokies at the casino or something like that. But no, it'd be bloody lovely. That's your 8 games of footy. It leaves the Eels with a bye, a good time for them to be getting the free 2 points. Obviously, they just got, I don't want to say decked, but they just lost to Manly there in that one. And we've just seen as well now that Gutho, out for 4 or 5 weeks. He's undergone a minor surgery. No Moses, no Gutho. They're going to have I assume Sivo and Penasini both out for this week, I imagine. So, well, not for this week. How does that work? Does the ban obviously doesn't count for the bye week? It must.
Nah, it's full on.
So they'll be out for the next game. Yeah, good time for Parra to get the free 2 points.
It is a good time for them. Yeah, definitely a couple of head scratches for Brad Arthur in that game. Yeah, I mean, you would have thought if one club had such a heavy reliance on a player, it would be maybe Manly with Tommy Turbo. But yeah, it's looking like Mitchell Moses is going to be the one man band at Parramatta that makes a huge difference. Because without him, they're not looking like they're anywhere near a chance of making finals footy at the moment.
Nah, not at all. So they'll be hoping he's back sooner than expected. But it's pretty nice to have that little bye slot in there while he's out. One less game that they have to play without him.
Yep. Yeah, it takes
It's
us.
been a bloody good week to be a Gooner, I have to say.
Yeah,
You
pretty
can't-
much perfect.
Pretty much. I'm saying like maybe a 9 out of 10 week to be a Gooner would have been obviously ideal if we'd seen Chris Wood finish some bloody chances there against City. Obviously, a lot of people talking about it that they reckon it's rigged. And being a City fan, I wasn't aware of that. But plenty of old tweets of his resurfaced after the game and him missing sitters against City there, which could have completely changed it. So they reckon, maybe a little bit of helping City to the title, which if it did turn out that he was a City fan and that's what he was doing, it would break my heart to see him do that as a Kiwi. I always said I'd like to see Chris Wood at Arsenal. I don't think he's up to the calibre of starting week in, week out, but it'd be pretty cool to see. I know when the talk of Winston Reid to Arsenal was going to happen a few years ago when he was at West Ham. It'd be great to have an Arsenal at New Zealand, a Kiwi at Arsenal. But we possibly don't need them when we're going out there and decking Chelsea by 5 goals.
Yeah, 5-0. Didn't really think we were at our best early on in that one. We obviously got the goal through Trossard, which was nice, but things didn't really end up clicking for us until that second half. And Chelsea had a couple of opportunities to equalise there in that first half. Missed a couple of sitters by a couple of inches there, but
Nicholas Jackson from right in front should have scored.
Both centre backs, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was that second half. I was out on the golf course and actually had completely forgotten that a game was on, playing with Osh, and get a message from Fred, him at the bar, I think, as the 4th goal went in. Completely threw me off. Didn't realise that the game was on that day. I thought it was the day afterwards. So, but to see us go out there and score 5 goals, you can't really complain.
Yeah, it was an awesome second half. Goals flying in. 5-0 up against our local rivals. Doesn't really get much better than that, but it did get better. Yesterday, in fact. Yesterday morning, up against the blokes from down the road, the Tottenham Hotspur. Nice little 3-2 win. Obviously sitting very pretty there, 3-0 up.
Yeah, looking like it could have been another matched result there of that Chelsea game.
Yeah,
really.
I was sitting there thinking, 3-0 first half, we could bank this 5 again. Second half, if we come out with that same intensity, same sort of execution. But David Raya was not too keen on keeping his clean sheet record intact, obviously gifting them a goal, which gave them a bit of an opportunity to put things on edge a bit going into the final 5 minutes of the game after they slotted the penalty as well to make it 3-2. So definitely a nervy final few minutes there, with 1 goal on the line between us and City even being at the top of the table. I think they're only 1 point behind us. So
I think you're right.
We'll be second if we can hang on there, but we did manage to hang on. So fingers crossed we can keep winning.
Yeah, that's all we can do. 3 games to go. Game 36, game 37, game 38. We can finish with a total of 89 points. And obviously, City can finish with a total of 91. So we need to see a draw there at some stage. That goal difference is slowly changing. They're now only 7 goals behind.
I don't think they'll catch that in 3 games. So if we win, unless we get 3 1-0s and they get 3 5-0s.
That's all it takes, though, is for them to go out. They play.
If they get 3 5-0s, then we won't win anyway.
If they draw a game,
They've only got 3 games left.
They got 4.
Oh yeah.
They've got the game in hand. That's how it's going to have to go.
That's Spurs. They've got West Ham, Spurs.
So they draw against Spurs, and then they beat West Ham by 4, and then they beat they actually play. Sorry, it's Wolves, Fulham, United, and Wolves, Fulham, Spurs, and West Ham. So
they could do it. They could do it with a draw involved.
They could still do it with a draw involved. There's no doubt about it. We'll be hoping that they don't. But as you said, we've got to keep winning, and that all starts, as we found out, or as I found out earlier, 11:30 this Saturday night.
Up against Bournemouth, yeah. They're coming off 2 wins.
Playing some
On the
good
bounce.
footy.
Yep, up against the Wolves and Brighton respectively, but
I believe they've just racked up their highest ever points total in the Premier League.
Premier League
I
season.
think
Good
they're
on
what,
them.
sitting on 51 points, I want to say. Sitting there at 10th, I think. 10th on 48. Equal with Chelsea. Obviously Chelsea there not in a very good spot, but they've only played the 33, so
Cool with Chelsea, that's fucked eh.
Chelsea win their 2 games in hand, or their 1 game in hand that they've got there on the teams above them. They win their game in hand, they're only 3 points behind United, which is crazy to think about. Looking like Villa possibly going to seal that Champions League spot, although we've, Tottenham also 33, so they've got 2 games in hand. Obviously, we're hoping that they win one of those when they come up against City.
Yeah.
Still plenty to play for. We have seen what Sheffield officially relegated though. They are down after last weekend's result. No longer able to catch Forest there. Looking like it's a tough one. Looking like Burnley probably go down.
Yeah.
And I guess it's one of Luton or Forest. Brentford can officially be caught only by Forest. Actually, so yeah, only by Forest. Only Forest, Luton and Burnley can still be the 2 to join Sheffield United there. So there's still plenty to play for this time of the year. We're rocking into the 1st of May tomorrow. Day 122 of the year. That's officially a third of the way into 2024 when we get into tomorrow, which is nuts to think about.
Yeah.
But you're right down into the nitty gritty.
Definitely into the nitty gritty of the year, that little third.
You're into the nitty gritty of the footy season. There's 3 games to go. It's the last month of the Premier League. And it's all to play for. So as I've now found out, ain't no way I'll be getting any early night Saturday. I'll be rolling straight through into that Arsenal game there. Seems ideal. Seems bloody ideal, I must say.
Yeah, come on you Gunners, and come on the Wolves, Hammers, Fulham, Spurs.
Yeah, I'll be well and truly supporting Spurs when they come up against City. There's no doubt about it. I'll be singing all the chants in my sleep maybe. But we're going to have to do it at some stage. Game week 37 will be officially Spurs fans. But that's probably it in terms of the footy. Now, it was the weekend. It was the weekend to be Luke Littler in terms of the world of darts last weekend. We saw him go out there, take his 3rd Premier League night win. I believe he's sitting there at the top of the Premier League table now. So we're definitely going to see him when it comes to finals night. And he continued that form Friday morning, which Thursday night there, winning in Liverpool, shushing the haters. Obviously a big Man United fan, and
Came out and let them know.
came out and did the old Theo Walcott 2-0. I don't know what that was. But yeah, came out, he was getting booed, and went out there and absolutely destroyed everyone. And he then went out and did the same thing over the weekend in Austria, taking the win there. I think, top of my head, it was Joe Cullen that he beat in the final. 8-6, I think, is the score. But yeah, 2 wins, 2 tournaments over the weekend. Pretty hefty looking payday, I would imagine. Plus all the rest of the money that he's making now on the side of everything else. He probably makes a hell of a lot more money from, I'd say, or maybe not just yet, but soon, endorsements and things than he does from darts. So I think he's got to be. He was Forbes 30 under 30 influential people, I think it was.
Okay.
Completely changed the world of darts. I think he'll be the richest darts player to ever live. Not to ever live, because obviously he is at this stage, you know. It was the weekend to be Luke Littler, and I'll be hoping he can get me another win there Friday morning, a big win, ideally a few 180s in there and a nice looking high checkout, because he's one of my 4 kings of the Yoki there for this weekend. We've got Luke Littler to beat the Asp. He's one of them. We've got Michael Smith to take out Peter Wright, already confirmed that he won't be involved in finals night. MVG to take out Rob Cross, along with Humphreys to take out Gilbert Price. Nothing too flash. $1,440.40, but we've boosted it. So that actually can't be right. I believe it must have been a different total there. I think I screenshot that one as well. $140.40. $10 on it. I boosted it. $1,508 return. You total that in there with my other one there.
For the other one.
It's we end up rolling just above $400, $4,000. Would be a beautiful way to end the weekend. So there $4,000 in my account there, and then probably after Sunday we'd be just going straight on there, putting $4,000 on Spurs to beat City. Match week 37 might be the way to do it. That's probably it from us this week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved in all the socials. Give us a like, give us a 5-star, give us a subscribe. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy whatever sport you may be getting involved to. We're back underway in terms of all your winter sports here in New Zealand. The footy's back on, the rugby's back up and running. So people are getting involved. The traffic's back on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But it's
not ideal, but
a little bit of post-golf viewing, sport viewing. We got out there last week. We got to see Devo Beach make their first appearance of the season in an unfortunate 4-1 loss. I put $10 on Jay to be the first goal scorer, and it came off. I'm still waiting for Collins to pay up. I think we were talking. I think we agreed about $8.70, which I did tell Jay was his odds, which he wasn't too stoked with. He thought he should have been a little bit higher up, missing Richie and Stu, which maybe in hindsight possibly
but
fair.
how much do you get for a favourite first goal scorer?
That's the thing as well. We put it was first goal scorer, and they ended up winning 4-1. One of those players in there might have scored 38 goals last season.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
The outright favourite. But it is, enjoy your sport, enjoy your week ahead. If you're having a punt, do it responsibly. Don't go out and put 4K. If you win, withdraw it. Don't go out and do anything silly. And hopefully we'll see you here this time next week, a little bit richer.
Sounds good to me. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.